Untours Staff Unplugged, a compilation of memorable moments. What are your favorite memories on an Untour? Perhaps it's the sight of two cows nuzzling each other high in the Swiss Alps, or watching a gorgeous sunset from the porch of your Untours apartment. Maybe it's joining in on the merrymaking at a local festival, or going on a private visit in one of Tuscany's most famous abbeys. Maybe it's not the sights or places at all, but rather the people you meet, friendly, helpful Untours staff, locals happy to share their traditions with you, or fellow Untourists that become lifelong friends. Perhaps it's just feeling at home, in a place far away from your own home, in your very own Untours apartment. We recently asked Untours staff to share one of their favorite memories with us, and here's a sampling of what they had to say.
In Sicily, I visited the studio of artist and collector Nunzio Bruno on our Untours event. It was a wonderful afternoon where we made our own pizzas, and this is him with his work.
This was my first time back in Barcelona in about 10 years, and it had changed so much. It's one of the most vibrant cities I've ever been to. In this picture, I was walking through the El Borne neighborhood, right next to the Gothic Quarter, when I suddenly saw a paella festival. The chef called me over and we took this picture, and the paella was amazing. We had paella, wine, salad, and dessert for €7, sitting at long tables, just gazing around one of the main squares of the El Borne neighborhood and feeling like you were back in time at least 100 years.
Here's a shot of some locals who've taken their living room furniture out of their house and put it out next to the canal to enjoy the late May wonderful weather in Leiden. Behind them you see barges. Sometimes during the year these barges get towed into the town center and they have jazz concerts on the barges for the whole town.
My family and I had such a great time in Ticino. Can you believe, looking at those palm trees, that we're in Switzerland? It's the perfect combination of sun and fun and the beautiful Swiss mountains. Perfect.
One of our Austrian Untours staff, Michaela Bergmüller, took this photograph of me on a sunny day at the end of October, while we were making our way up to the Eis Riesenwelt, near the town of Werfen. Eis Riesenwelt, which basically means World of the Ice Giants in German, is a series of huge ice caves which we entered after walking up a trail on the mountain, taking a lift, and then walking some more. I'll always remember how beautiful this day was. The views on the way up were breathtaking, and the coffee and apple strudel we had at the halfway point were a perfect addition to an amazing day.
I finally got to meet our favorite landlords, Berit and Albert Greutert, owners of Chalet Berit, Studio Albert, and Elizabeth Apartments in Saxon, Swiss heartland. I can't imagine having better hosts or waking up to the view of the morning mist on the mountains and the sound of the church bells. I'm definitely going back there.
Here I am on top of the Brienzer Rothhorn Peak in Switzerland. This was one of my most memorable days in all of my travel experiences. It was the perfect day for hiking. There were birds flying below me, the lakes seemed so serene, and the air was crisp and cool. I ended up hiking for about 4 hours on this day, but if you're not a hiker, there are plenty of ways to get to this marvelous peak. Trains and lifts will take you there and will transport you to a fantastic experience.
Hello, this is Dodge Amaral, and this is a picture that I took in spring of 2007 in Provence. I'd been over 2 years since I'd been back there, and I really did miss the place, and I came to realize, at least on this trip, just some of the things that captivated me about the area in the first place. In this case, the scene happened to be one I kept driving by, and I kept seeing this stone shed off in the distance with the doors sort of askew, and this beautiful field of red poppies in front of it, and I kept driving by, thinking at some point I have to take a picture of this, and only on my last morning, before sadly having to leave, did I get a chance to make a special trip out, and just took as many pictures as I could. It just basically captivated me and just typified what I love about Provence. Gorgeous and yet not perfect, and just absolutely stunning.
It was so much fun taking my teenage daughter with me to Greece. We left my husband and my son home, and it was just us girls. It was a magical time, Spring was in bloom. Easter season. The weather was fabulous. Actually got to swim. Actually got to see the preparation for Easter, joining the village celebration of this important time of year. We got to see wonderful archaeological sites, and of course I had the wonderful company of my daughter sharing this experience with me.
This photo reminds me of just a great event and time spent with clients and staff in Tuscany South. It's not too often that, a city girl gets to spend some time with real country folks who take such pride in their hard work and labor and come out with such a great product as organic pecorino cheese, which is just so typical in southern Tuscany and Tuscany in general. And it just reminds me of a good time had with clients, with the sheep farmers, and with our staff person.
The staff are busy putting together lots of 2008 Untours for folks just like you. So that's all for this edition of Untours Unplugged. If you're looking for an affordable European vacation that gives you the freedom and flexibility to enjoy traveling at your own pace, yet offers you friendly, helpful support if you need it, look no further than Untours. With over 20 destinations in Europe's best locations and 33 years of experience, we'll make sure you have the vacation of a lifetime.